Hi guys, Sam from Manfus Makes. So I am filming this the same day that you would have seen the video that landed on Saturday, which was a book look. This video will either land on Sunday or Monday. I am extremely busy with lives and things at the moment, so I am trying to be just a little bit more organised and trying to pre-record some of my content for you, so that I can be a bit more relaxed when I'm on a live, that I know that video content is still coming out for you. So there will be a lot of videos where you see me dressed in the same things. That's because I'm doing multiple videos on the same day. So if you haven't been here before, hi, I'm called Sam, also known as Mantha. I have only just recently started my channel at the beginning of this year, which is 2022. I am still learning how this YouTube world works and functions. I am having a lot of fun playing around with video content and giving you a wide mixture of things to view. Anything from yarn hauls, book looks, drives in the car, walks in my local area, all my whips and things that I'm working on. Yeah, so I'm trying to do a range of things. Eventually in my YouTube career, I would like to do tutorials or maybe design my own patterns, but right now life is a little too busy for me to do that. I applied for a job this week, which hopefully within the next few weeks I will hear whether I'm successful or not. And obviously when I go back into the working world, my video schedules and my live appearances may reduce, or I may be able to combine the both and get both on an even keel and a nice balance, but I won't know until I'm in that position. Crochet is primarily a hobby. I was out of work from November 2021, and in order for me to fill my time and enjoy what I was doing while I was kind of getting myself together to get back into the working world, my wonderful boyfriend suggested, well, why don't you start a YouTube channel? You like watching other content creators, and there's no reason why you can't do your own content, put your own spin on it, and yeah, see if people like it. And so far, plenty of you do. I am fast approaching my 400 subby mark. Appreciate everybody who shares me on their community tabs, everybody who has me in their lives, people who reach out and say, you know, anything I can do to help to get your name out there. There's too many to list. I did, you know, a few weeks ago try and do specific shout outs to specific content creators, but it's getting to the stage where there are a lot of you who are willing to help, and I don't ever want to forget somebody. So rather than list and leave people out, I am just going to say a blanket thank you to everyone who has emailed, messaged, people who have done collaborations with me, and hopefully there'll be more in the future. Community tabs, I obviously still don't have mine. As soon as I get mine, I will be doing the same. And I am also toying with the idea of doing a weekly video and shouting out a few people who I think you might find interesting to try and get their numbers up. But I don't quite know how I'm going to do that yet. So that's just a little seedling thought going on up there for a minute. But anyway, and also the biggest thank you goes to you returning viewers who watch all of my videos, the majority of my videos. Other awesome people will just run my playlist. They can't check in every day that I land a video, but then once a week they'll do a catch up of all the videos of that week, and it really does help. One of the major things with YouTube is you need a specific amount of watch hours. I'm nowhere near getting to the stage where I can be monetized, but obviously the more watch hours I bank as I'm leading up to that, which could take quite a while still, if I can keep banking those watch hours, then I really can progress as soon as I hit milestones. So I would really appreciate if you have the time to run my playlist occasionally, even if you've watched my videos before. Remember though, do not have it muted, because if you have it muted, it doesn't count. There needs to be sound to the video for it to count. You can rewatch people's playlists over and over again to help them with watch hours, but what you do need to do is you need to delete your watch history in order for it to reset and count again. You can't keep running a playlist without deleting that first, otherwise all those repeat watchings will not count. So if ever you are stuck for something to do and you don't mind me waffling away in the corner of your bedroom or the corner of your living room while you're watching a movie, then I really would appreciate some watch hours. But just coming by when you can and listening to me waffle on helps as well. So I really do appreciate each and every one of you that keep coming back, getting my name out there and giving me your love and support. Yeah, just big love to all of you. I really do appreciate it. I'm kind of relying on you guys more than you rely on me for content. That's how YouTube works. And the more you do, the more I will put out there for you. Now, I'm not sure whether what I'm going to show you today will be of any interest. I just did it as a experiment for myself, but then I thought, well, it does involve yarn and it does involve crochet, and there might be a few of you that would be interested to see. Full disclaimer, the yarn that I've used is some of the yarn that I got in my yarn haul from the range. That video is down in my playlist. And therefore, if you're not in the UK, you will not easily be able to get your hands on these yarns. You can still drool at them through the screen though. So that's kind of why I'm doing it. Anyway, let's crack on, shall we? So you will remember that I picked up some variegated acrylic yarns. They were very, very busy yarns, and as I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, I wonder how they would crochet up. I wonder how the colours would spread over the fabric of the crochet that I have done. So I've taken the time off camera and in between doing other bits and pieces of making up some swatches. And again, full disclaimer, I know that this is not original. I know that other content creators do this and probably have done this for a long time. This is the first time I've done it on my channel. And actually the person that ignited the spark in me was Creative Grandma, or Glenda. Whenever she gets new yarns in, or whether she gets new colours, sometimes she will work up some samples and some swatches for you so that you are able to see how the yarn works up, what your fabric may look like in your projects, and it helps give you an informed decision on whether you want to buy that yarn. Now again, it doesn't help that you guys across the pond cannot get your hands on this yarn, but I think it's still interesting to see how a yarn works, how a yarn, you know, looks after you've worked with it. And I've actually enjoyed just doing some simple mindless crochet instead of some of my more intensive larger projects. And there's no deadline and I could just do this at my own pace. So I've really, really enjoyed it. Anyway, Sam, stop waffling on. Show the pretty people the pretty yarn. So the first one I am going to show you was this Divante Rainbow Pale Ombre knitting yarn. So this was the one with the real pale yellow, pink, blue, creamy white. I said it would look good for baby projects. So what I've done is I have actually done a little sample or a swatch to show you how the colours play out. Here it is. And just to explain, down here at the bottom, I did several rows of single crochet. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. So this section here is all single crochet. Now, as you can see, this yarn does want to curl, and this is quite annoying. But I do think with a little light blocking, this curve or curling will not be an issue. So I think this is a yarn that you are going to have to block. It feels like it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. And all the yarns are the same, just different colorways. So as you can see down here at the bottom, with the smaller stitches, The colour grouping is more close together. They are still quite spread out, but you know, you can see a big splodge of blue there and another one there and another one there. Then we move up to a few rows of half double crochet, and here the colours start separating a little bit more and you get more of a dotted effect. That's because the stitch is slightly taller than the single. I do think it's still quite pretty. And then up a little bit further, I did some double crochets, which is obviously quite a tall stitch. The colours again spread themselves out differently to what they have down below. And then I thought I would do a couple of bobbles or cluster stitches at the top, just to show you that if you were to do a speciality stitch, how the colours would fall in that. Now, personally, I don't like the fact that the bobbles are all multicoloured. That's just personal preference. So I would make sure when using these variegated yarns, because the colour changes are so short, that I maybe wouldn't do a stitch like this, and I would keep to one of the more simple stitches. So for me, if I was going to use this yarn on a personal project, I personally prefer the half double crochet, how the colours fall on that one. So for this yarn, I would make sure that my pattern uses mostly half double crochets because of how the colours land. But that is personal preference. You might be looking at this going, what? You're crazy. I prefer the single crochet, or I prefer the bobbles, or I prefer the doubles. That is why we are all different within our craft, and that is why these yarns are developed, for you to get the effect that you want with your project. So again, that is the Rainbow Pale Ombre. But yeah, I like this section better than the others. And obviously if you do a wider project as well, the colours will fall completely different also. But this is probably, you know, a skinny scarf size sample. So yeah, just another quick close look at that one. So that one was the Rainbow Pale Ombre, excuse me. So that was the pale rainbow. Now I'm going to show you the bright rainbow, which, just to refresh your memory, looks like this in the skein. Beautiful, beautiful. And actually this was my favourite one while it was in the ball. I will let you know when I've shown you all the colours whether that is still the favourite out of the four or whether my opinion has changed. So yeah, that's the Rainbow Brights. Now I will show you the sample, and I have worked the samples up in exactly the same way. There's the same amount of rows of single, half double, double, and the bobbly clustery thingies at the top. And that's because I wanted to give you as accurate a colour formation as I could by doing the same thing for each colorway. So again, down the bottom you have the single crochets, and again it's curling, so apologies for that. So that is how the colors fall at the bottom. Then we move up into the half doubles, where it's starting to column rather than be spread out. Then you've got your doubles, which is completely different again. And again, you've got your clusters and your bobbles at the top. Again, they're all multicolored. Wouldn't be personally a stitch I choose to use with this variegated. So for this one, I prefer the look again of the half double crochet. I just like how the colors are spaced and placed within the fabric. This one actually reminds me of flames with a blue background. So that is the Rainbow Brights. I don't know which you prefer out of all the stitches, but for me it is the half double crochet. Just get up a little bit closer for you to try and see. So that is the Rainbow Brights. And then the next colourway that I want to show you is the Fruity Ombre, which were these bright oranges, reds, pinks, teals. Very, very pretty. And actually, it's not the top. It wasn't at the top when I picked these balls up. So now let me show you the swatch I made up, or the sample I made up with this one. Again, you've got your single crochets down here. You've got your half doubles here, your doubles and your bobbles. You can see again how the colours look completely different depending on whether it's a smaller stitch, a taller stitch. And for me, you've guessed it, I prefer the half double. So I think for this brand of yarn, it's pretty safe to say that Sam prefers a half double size stitch to work these colours. But there we go. Again, curling. And there we go. Super bright, this one. Super, super bright. So that one was the fruity. And then last but not least is the clown ombre. And that was the bright greens, the reds, the pinks, the like aqua blue. That's what it looks like in the ball. And this was my least favourite, my very least favourite. I do like all colours, but there are a few that I like less than some. For me, I really am not a fan of lime green, the bright, bright lime green. It's always been a colour that I've kind of avoided. Ironically, all my sons love lime green. So this was my least favourite in the ball. And I will show you the sample for this one. Again, your single crochets at the bottom, your half doubles in the middle, your doubles and your bobbles. Just let you see those. Again, for me, it's the half double crochet colour placement that I prefer. Again, some curling, maybe that's a tension thing. Excuse my wonky side. I did this really late last night when I was getting a bit tired, so it's not my best work. But it's good enough to show you how the colours fall when you're doing particular stitches in a fabric. So yeah, that's how they fall. It's just a little, all of them are just a little too busy when it's these small, tiny stitches. I'm not keen on the busyness down here, but this, where it forms a sort of, I don't know, almost a chevron-y type shape. And then I can even do the doubles. The doubles are quite pretty as well because you've got almost a striping going on within the fabric. I don't like the mixy-matchy bobbles. But that's just my personal preference. You could be watching this going, oh, I love bubbles in those. And that's fine. Again, that's why we are all so very, very different. So before I showed you all the swatches, I said to you that my favourite in the ball band was this one. And I said, I'll let you know whether my opinion changed. Well, it has. And actually, what I found to be my least favourite is now my favourite, believe it or not, even with the lime green involved. And I find that incredibly interesting. It's the same with clothing. You can go into a store and you can think, oh, I really like that top. And it's hanging on the hanger and it's looking all gorgeous and lovely. And then you go in the changing rooms and you put it on your body and you look at yourself in the mirror and sometimes you go, oh, thought it would look nicer than that. Happens to me a lot. Anyway, and that's what's happened to me with this yarn. I'm looking at it going, oh, I'm not keen on that. Don't think I like those colours. And then all of a sudden I've worked up a little bit of fabric in it and I'm like, oh, I quite like that. And my mum, going back to the clothes, she always said, don't worry about what it looks like on a hanger. You have to look think about what it looks like on you. That's what you need to concentrate on. So always try things on, because something that you think is a bit meh on the hanger, when you put it on, could look absolutely fantastic. And now in future, when I'm, you know, selecting some yarns or wanting to try some yarns, I'm not going to be so black and white in, I like that, I don't like that. I think I'm going to be tempted to pick it up regardless and take a chance, see if it works out nice and how I wanted the project to be, or see if it works out not how I expected and have to change what colour I'm using. And this is how I think I'm starting to develop. This is how I'm thinking maybe later on down the line it will help me when I'm thinking of making patterns, when I'm thinking of doing tutorials, because you kind of have to have, you know, a wealth of knowledge to know what something's going to look like in a particular yarn or a particular yarn fibre. Colorways, variegateds are always going to be busy yarns, and I find variegateds with people are quite Marmite. You either love them or you hate them. Now, I don't mind them. I'm the exception to the rule. They're not the first things that I go to grab, and they're certainly not the first yarns that I want to get my hands on and work something up instantly. But I do find them super cheerful, super lovely to look at. And actually, in my yarn wall, it's my variegateds that give me most of the inspiration, because it's not just one solid colour. And I find when I've got one solid colour, I then have to think, well, now I need to pick 2 or 3 other colours that kind of match, or the hues kind of blend together. It's the right kind of theme that I'm going for, whatever the case may be. And I find colour selection a little bit pressurising. That's why sometimes I prefer to buy a kit, because somebody else has picked the colours that they want to be worked into their design, which helps me because I buy the kit and just copy their colourway, and I have a carbon copy of whatever they designed before they released the kits. That takes a lot of the pressure out. But I want to try and stop being, lazy isn't the right word, but I want to stop being so reliant on people to do that kind of thing for me. I need to progress myself in my craft and with my hobby to have the confidence to go outside of my comfort zone sometimes, to select colours that I wouldn't normally gravitate to. And this was kind of dipping my toe in the water with variegateds that, quite frankly, I would never, even a year ago, have put in my trolley and bought. I just wouldn't have done it. I just would think, no, they're not my bag. I don't want them. I don't like them. And then, you know, I would have been missing out, especially this one, which I really didn't like in the ball, but then when I did the sample, loved. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I need to keep pushing myself to do, and I encourage you guys to do that too. It's okay to stick to safe. It's okay to copy other people's colorways and grab inspiration wherever you can. It's okay to not take the easy way out. That's not what I'm saying, but to appreciate somebody else's colorway choices or somebody else's fiber content. You know, doing an acrylic rather than a cotton. But sometimes it really is interesting and exciting to push yourself out of your comfort zone and do something you wouldn't normally do, because you might just surprise yourself and like the end result. And in this case, I really, really do. And I'm glad I did it. I don't know whether you've enjoyed this. I don't know if this is something that you want me to do with other yarns perhaps in the future. Don't know whether you found it informative or useful in any way, but like I said, because it is yarn and because it is crochet, I thought, why not? So if you did enjoy this video, and if you would like me to do swatches with other yarns, maybe you can see something behind me that you would like me to work up a little swatch in to give you a little show of how it works up, then do feel free to comment down below and ask. I'm quite happy to you know, oblige if that's what you would like me to do. I don't know whether if you ask me to buy specific yarns that I don't already own, where I will always be able to go out and buy it and do that for you. But certainly anything you see behind me, if you want to see how that works up, then do feel free to drop me a little comment down below. And also feel free to tell me whether you play it safe, you push your boundaries and go outside your comfort zone, please do feel free to tell me whether this is the kind of content you enjoy or whether you would prefer me to go back to some of the other things that I was doing before. I need feedback, and I would really appreciate feedback. And you guys that comment on my videos so far, you are great at doing that. And even if it's just a simple, love it, thank you, Sam, I'm like, oh, I'm glad they enjoyed watching it. And I genuinely do mean that. I'm like, I can't believe people watch it and they then tell me that they like to watch it. I mean, your time is precious, and you choose some of your time to spend with me. Wow, mind blown. Anyway, I'm going to hop off because this is another 25-minute long video. But like I said, please let me know if you like it. Let me know if you want me to do more, and let me know if there's anything behind me that you would like to see. So whether this is Sunday or Monday, whenever I decide to put the video up, I hope you are having a lovely day, evening, night, whichever the case may be. I hope you had a lovely weekend and got some lovely crafting time in, or some lovely quality time with your loved ones. I will definitely be around the YouTube streets. I will be on people's panels, and I will be down in chat for sure. And yeah, thank you. Thank you to my viewers, and thank you to my fellow content creators and friends who continue to support me and share me out. I love you all. Please do stay safe. Please do be kind. There is always somebody out there that is unhappy about certain things or get upset about certain things. But you know what? I just want kindness and positivity, and there will be no drama here at Manfas Makes. Love you guys. Bye.